Euphoria music.
Hello and welcome everybody to Two Sides of Spurs. Wait, what is the title? Two Sides of Spurs podcast is what we're on right now. And welcome everyone. I'm Colin, half of Two Sides of Spurs, joined by the lovely and knowledgeable and kind and funny Jose. Jose, buddy. Results aside, we'll get to Spurs in a second. But how are you doing on this fine Sunday?
I'm fine. I always am.
Fine on fine Sunday.
I'm too old in the tooth to have a breakdown.
Get riled up about
too
this
old
kind
in the
of stuff.
tooth for all that.
Well, I'm sure that not everybody here is, and we'll have some people to talk to about some stuff. There's already a couple comments in here. First one's from me. If you would like to become a Patreon member and support the channel that way, I would be very appreciated. There's a link to do so. I know that's not what everyone wants to talk about now, so we'll go right past that. We've got Daniel, Dan the Man, saying disgrace. Ian Meth says it's awful. And we got Benny Guy saying I had a feeling as soon as I saw a Bet MGM logo beginning of the season. Benny, love you selling points for money. And we got Ian again saying pants on fire. Share it from 2 Marks. What's up, Mark? Says, get the 2 frauds out of my club. And I assume he means Levy and Ange. And then we've got Benny again saying, if anyone still cannot see what's up, shame on us. Wanted to say thanks to everyone who's tuning in. I know that this is a rough day, rough time. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about some things, talk about Ange, talk about the future of the club, where you think it's going to go, And in just a moment, I'll put the link in for anyone else to come join us. We've only got about an hour today as I have to work. But I just wanted to kind of get some stuff out, get some stuff off my chest. And, we can start out. Let me pull up the lineups because I just want to look at this a little closer and see if you, Jose, had any – I don't know, to see if you had any thoughts about this whenever it was first announced.
So are you aware that today is Bill Nicholson's birthday?
Well, absolutely not, actually. Happiest birthday to Bill Nicholson. It's a shame.
And sorry, I've just put Bill Nicholson's birthday. This is his comment that he made.
There you go. Yes. It's better to fail aiming high than to succeed aiming low. And we of Spurs have set our sights very high. So high, in fact, that even failure will have in it an echo of glory.
They were Bill Nicholson's words. Right. So, Colin, can I just say before you go on to anything? Right. Yeah. Postecoglou talking to Sky Sports.
Yeah.
I don't know how he talked to Sky Sports. I didn't think the game was on Sky today. But anyway, it says, yeah, it hurts. It hurts a lot. The players gave everything again. We're going to look at a lot of things. But in terms of effort, I can't ask any more of this group. Things just didn't go our way today. We created some good opportunities, and unfortunately, things just didn't drop for us because not because of the players weren't trying, and that's the main thing. The players are giving everything they can. This is all we can ask for as a football club, and as me as a manager. They are trying their hardest, and that is all anyone can ask for. You can analyse the goals. They were disappointing goals for us to concede, but I thought we had enough chances in the game to come out on top. When you're in this situation, They are trying as hard as they can, and sometimes that doesn't give you the clarity in decision making. Decision making. You can ask is for people to do as much as they can, and from my perspective, I see a group of players that are giving as much as they can. I know it will turn. We'll get some players back. We were short again today, but in the next couple of weeks, there's some really important players coming back that I know will help this group. We've not hit a ceiling. We've been going like this for 2 months. They put in an enormous performance on Thursday to make sure that we're okay in Europe, and they had to back it up today. And there were probably at least 2 or 3 players that weren't at 100%. I'm a football manager, and I get judged on results. That is the way of the world.
Absolutely. And end quote. That's the end of his quote there.
Yeah, that's what it's come up for me. That's what I can say.
Well, yeah. Thank you for reading that out. I hadn't seen that yet. Man, there's just something about Ange. I know that a lot of people like get on him and they're like, "Oh, all he does is say mate a lot."
Sorry,
and all
can I just say, right? It is disappointing, but at the same time, I can't ask any more from this group of players. They are trying their hardest, and things just aren't falling for us. This is when he's talking. This is his response to match of the day, right? So it's 2 different interviews of 2 different people he's spoken to. We certainly had opportunities to kill the game off, and we didn't take them. It wasn't for the one of trying. The players gave everything, but we fell short. I thought first half we were good and probably could have had a couple of more goals, and for the most part they didn't threaten us. We conceded a couple of goals after that. We had the majority of play, but just weren't able to get the goals needed. There is a football element, but the psychological element. This group of players has given everything to turn our fortunes around, and that is all you can ask for. The reality is that 2 or 3 players weren't 100% to play today, and that is the reality that we're in. The supporters and the club should, and I think they do, acknowledge that you can't ask for any more from this group of players. They're giving everything they can, and it's not from the one of trying. When he talked about, so they was asked a question on their poor run at home, and he says it all folds in. The supporters are feeling it as well. It's not an atmosphere where it's easy at the moment. We need to. Where is he? It's just jumped again. There we go. Sorry, just get back to it.
No, thank you again for reading this for us.
Right, sorry. We need to break through and to try and give them something to get behind the team for. It wasn't that long ago we beat Liverpool here, and that was a great night here. On James Maddison's absence, he's just sore after the other night. He wasn't right to play. We really had no choice. On the supporters chanting about Daniel Levy, he said, "I'm focused on the game. We've got to get through this and through it as united as possible." And on whether Spurs are close to any additions in the transfer window, no, not that I am aware of, but the club are working hard to remedy that.
Yikes! That last statement is not filling me with any great amount of hope. We've got. Thank you again, Jose, for reading that out for us. That's awesome. It's really nice to have that insight into what the manager's thinking directly after the match. I know that they're kind of coached on what to say. We're not going to get a super honest probably answer, but no, thank you so much for that, because I didn't have that ready, and I appreciate you, sir. And speaking of people we appreciate, we got Nick Roundtable Talk in the chat. What's up, Nick? He says we couldn't even fill out the bench. That's how few players we have. I hope Ange walks. I know that a certain Peter Kagaias also feels the same way, Nick, and he says you're given a Fiat and expected to keep up with Ferraris. Love it. Love the Europeanness too of that. Good stuff. And then Ian Meth is agreeing with you there. So good stuff all around. Yeah, I just wanted to ask. So I had a post or something up there just a second ago, and let me put that back. And I'll ask you, and I'll tell you what I think too. But do you think Postecoglou's philosophy is a good fit for Tottenham's DNA? Tottenham DNA. I sort of hate that. Arsenal DNA, Barcelona DNA. But do you think that Postecoglou's philosophy? To me, it ticks all the boxes of what should work at Spurs, what should be Tottenham DNA. But
where's the evidence?
First couple of matches.
Okay, so you got a few players out, right? But the evidence should be the DNA's there, right? It should be that regardless of who gets selected, you see that DNA.
Right. There should be a system in place.
And that's what I'm saying is, where is the evidence? Because, to me, today, the team today, okay, we're not gonna beat around the bush. The team's running on empty. I've said this. Players like Porro. So if they don't get injured, they're going to make mistakes. Both goals were from Porro mistakes today. And that's because he's either going to make the mistakes or he is injured. He's going to get injured. Kulusevski, another one. I don't know what's going. I mean, he either has a real lack of trust, right? And what he must do, he must have a real lack of trust with the other youngsters that we've got that were on the bench that didn't get a chance. These players look spent, and to me, I'm thinking to myself, do you know what? You bring it on yourself. You have to bring it on yourself because you're the manager. You select the team. Now, we all can see that Porro. Well, up until about 2 weeks ago, it was Porro, Kulusevski, and Solanke that were being overplayed, and I was hoping for all three to be rested. And I can't remember what game it was, but whatever game it was, that I was hoping they'll get rested was the game that Solanke found out that he was then injured and couldn't play. So I just fear that other people are going to get injured. Looking at this lineup, to be honest with you, Colin, Ben Davies ain't knackered because he's hardly played. Bentancur
I thought he had a good match as well.
Bentancur coming to side has had a couple of weeks break. Richarlison, who's had 15 years break, has just come back. I know he scored the goal, but a player that can't last more than what he lasted on the pitch today.
I have an argument for that, but
it's just not enough. You can't just have players. You're carrying passengers. But Richarlison, we were told by everybody that Richarlison had been fit for a number of weeks, and they were just going to really build him up before letting him loose on the grass, i.e. the pitch, right. The first team. We've done this. Richarlison hasn't lasted at all. I would have expected Richarlison. Look, put it this way, Kulusevski was dead on his feet, but Kulu and Son outlasted Richarlison. Son and Kulusevski have played near enough all season. So for me, Pat Matasar, again, before the game started today, I was on We Are Tottenham TV on the pump up, and I say this every time we pick Sarr. I say Sarr needs to up his game. He needs to up his level, because I'm saying that Sarr hit a ceiling already, and he's not going to get any better, because all Sarr does is, I don't know what he does, because at the end of the game, I turn around and say, did he play? Was he in the team? Was he in the lineup? Because he does nothing. You cannot remember him in the whole game. And today, I'm afraid, I said that before the game started, and it's panned out again. Sarr offers this team absolutely nothing. He doesn't even offer the legs, because he's like a headless chicken. He doesn't offer us legs. He doesn't offer anything at all. Now, whether that's lack of confidence, I don't know. It could well be it's lack of confidence. But I look at this team, and when I saw the lineup, and Maddison was out as well, which I thought, oh, it's a bit weird, Maddison being out. But then it was transpired as we were doing the show this morning that Maddison had taken a knock on Thursday and hadn't recovered. And Pep Sarr was there. There must be something wrong on the bench, because Bissouma was on the bench. He never got a game or not. He never got any game time today. At the end of the day, some of these players are absolutely dead on their feet. And you've got players like Bergvall and Archie Gray who have run themselves into the ground. I mean, everyone's going to say, yeah, they're fit young lads. But, there comes a point they're playing every minute of every game, especially Archie Gray. They've run themselves into the ground. We don't
want to Wayne Rooney these guys.
No, they're running on fumes. So, at the end of the day, I see what Ian's comment. Ian, mate, I'm telling you now, whether he's 100% fit or not, Sarr is just not there for me, mate. Hasn't been there for me. I don't know what all the hype is about. I did say on a show a few weeks ago, a different show, where I was a guest as well. My words were, Colin, that I remember the number 2 of Arsenal, a guy called Abu Diaby, who played under Wenger. I remember the 15, Denilson, who played under Wenger. Mm-hmm. These players were brought in and were meant to be generational talents, were brought in by Arsenal, right? And they hit their ceiling, and they soon left the club.
Wasn't Diaby just injured all the time?
But they hit their ceiling, and they left the club. They bombed them. They hit the ceiling, And Pat Matasar reminds me, he's a different type of player. It does play midfield like the other two that I mentioned, but he is another one who just absolutely does nothing. I can't see what it is that he does. He gave the ball away so many times today. He runs into traffic.
Gives away some stupid fouls.
Yeah, well, if you wanted to go and hurt yourself, just mate, if you want, come for me, come and work for me, and run through brick walls if you want. Run into trucks. It's up to you. I don't care. Do what you like, because that's all you do on a football pitch. Do you know what I mean? I just don't see what he does. And we had too many players. As I said, Porro made both the mistakes today. Dragassin's passing again is absolutely piss poor.
No denying that.
Capsar didn't offer nothing. Gray tried his art out again. Bergvall, I thought Bergvall puts his foot on the ball. Bergvall gets about and that. Heung-min Song. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right when you play one good game in 15. But Heung-min Song is starved of service. It's just.
I didn't think today was one of his worst appearances in a while, though. I thought he looked a little better today than normal.
He didn't get served. That's what I'm saying. He didn't get served for me.
Right. Yeah. No, you're not wrong. He kind of needs that as well. He used to be a player that could kind of create things for himself, with his tricky runs, his step overs, but not so much anymore. That one ball that he received, I think it was from Bergvall. Bergvall had like a nice switch of play from one side of the pitch, from the right to the left. Sonny got it, somehow found himself some space and got a shot off. I thought for sure he was going to score there. I think Sonny still has his useful, his uses. He can still be useful, but I definitely wouldn't be playing him nearly as much as we are. So question 2 about this lineup. Whenever you saw it come out, you see Archie Gray there at left back. You see that we've got, Sar in the midfield. I know that we didn't have a lot of options at the back. Would you have possibly flip-flopped Gray and Ben Davis around, or do you think that Gray is an acceptable option at fullback?
I would have started no Porro. I would have kept that lineup, and I would have started Gray at right back and Reguilon at left back. I said that. This is what I said this morning. Porro needs a rest. I even said drop Kulusevski and put Mikey Moore in there. Just don't play Kulusevski and don't play Porro. At the end of the day, they need to have a rest. And my words were, will Ange take them off after 45 minutes? And I said that in We Are Tottenham TV. I said, okay, he started them, but will he take them off after 45? No, he doesn't. They both played the full games again. I don't know what it is we need to do now, because these two players are going to play again. And before we get other players back, we will lose players to injury and or we will lose players to heavy mistakes.
Ian Meth saying that he's got shares in a couple of racehorses and he wouldn't even run his racehorses like this. Yeah, Ian, good point. And I think Jose's on the same exact page as you, man. Whenever I saw this lineup come out, I'm not a huge fan of Sar either. And I would have even liked to have seen Kulusevski. I know you were saying, let's give Kulusevski some rest, but I would have liked to see him in midfield. And then, you start Mikey Moore up top. I honestly think that would have been a better lineup. We would have been more solid. We would have controlled the midfield more, I think. So, yeah, I mean, there were some problems with the lineup, I thought, as soon as it came out. But I do think that it does show a little bit how forced the manager's hand is right now and how there's few options. And also with regards to Richarlison coming off after 55 minutes or whatnot, I don't know how everybody else feels about it. But I imagine if Richarlison got injured today and we had absolutely no recognized striker. Sonny can play there, I guess, but he doesn't press the same way as Solanke or Richarlison. He's just not as strong. He's not. So I kind of see the logic in taking Richarlison off, just because he's made of glass. The guy's got glass bones, and so I don't think that.
But if that's the case, Carl, surely you start Lancashire. Come on. At the end of the day, look, the players are running on fumes. I understand this, but you select the side to go out and play. And at the end of the day, I've been crying out for some people that shouldn't have played. Porro, Kulusevski. I can't repeat it. Porro made both the mistakes for both goals today. If they're not going to get injured, they're going to make mistakes. And at the end of the day, Ange obviously doesn't trust other players because they didn't get a sniff. As I said, I would have played Mikey Moore instead of Kulu. I would have played Reggie on instead of Porro and switched Gray to right back. And then at the end of the day, Richarlison, if he ain't going to give you more than 50 minutes or whatever is a game, start Lancashire. Start Lancashire. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, and Pat Mattasai, you know, I would have preferred Oluwasi in the side to him. Let's wait and see what he does on Thursday.
Absolutely. Ian's pointing out.
Sorry, can I say if he's here still?
And I think he will be. Is that crazy to me? So let's jump to another.
No. I'm not saying it's crazy. I'm just in football. You don't know what's going to happen. So I'm saying if. I'm just saying if. Doesn't mean that I want him out or anything like that. I'm just saying if he's still here Thursday, because between now and Thursday, there's a lot of water to go under the bridge, so to speak.
There absolutely is. Hopefully, we see some signings in that time. That would make me very, very happy. So we talked about a little bit about his philosophy and if it's a good fit for Tottenham. I don't know, the way that we played against Man City this season. I understand Man City are having their own problems, but if we could play like that week in, week out, and that was Ange's philosophy, I think that would be good. I think that, that fits with the way Spurs want to play. That fits with the way the fans want to see Spurs play, with that attacking, flair, and that bravery. But again, can we replicate that? Is that possible? Was that a one-off? We will have to wait and see. My next question is, should we prioritize long-term stability over short-term results? Another fancy way of asking you if you think that we should sack Ange, basically. So, we've seen all kinds of teams, not all kinds of teams. We've seen a couple of teams, and especially within the history of the league, stick with a manager when things weren't going particularly well. Things turn a corner and they improve. I kind of suspect that will happen with us, to be completely and totally honest, if we do end up sticking with this manager. But the question is, and this goes to everybody in the chat as well, should we be prioritizing short-term results or long-term stability? We've been on the manager merry-go-round quite a bit. I think that we need to, give the guy some time, but we've been doing that. And it hasn't been going especially well. Jose, do you have any strong feelings about this?
For me, like I said already, I'm grown up. I'm fully aware of what we've gone through, and we have got injuries, and that's a fact. There's no hiding. We have had injuries. We had another 12 or 13 out today, and that's factual. No one can take that away. That's exactly what's happening here. But it's how you rotate the rest of the squad that you've got, and when I mean the rest of the squad, it's not just the 25 that you've got, it's and the youngsters that can come up from the B squad and for that reason, the person who picks a side is Ange. And like I said today, he obviously has no trust whatsoever in our youngsters. He has no trust at all, because to me, and I can't repeat myself, these players are running on fumes. They're running on fumes, and yet they're being selected game in, game out. I half think to myself that if we put out youngsters and got beaten 2-1 today, people might have been slightly different, or their thoughts might be slightly different, because they would say, look, we know that our players are running on fumes. We knew we had to change it up. We've done so. We've given it a good go, because some of these youngsters may have put a bit more fight in than Papasar and people like that. We've given it a go. And you know what? It hasn't materialised itself. But we're using the same 11 players week in, week out. It doesn't make any other changes at all. And when that's happened, we've ended up with what we've got.
Looks like we've got Corey in the back. Bringing in Corey. What's up, man?
I said yesterday.
Yeah.
It's first appearance of me. I said yesterday we'll lose. Said all week long we'll lose. Haven't got long because I got a football train. I just thought I'd come on. To have someone find my phone number, and I'm going to say this now, send me a death threat and say something about my little boy for speaking the truths about Tottenham. You're a sick, petty little boy with a small mindset with an even smaller penis. I've sent your number to the police, and if you so much as turn up in Brighton or anywhere near me where my life and my son's life is concerned, I will take you down. But I'm going to leave it there. Spurs lost. I told you so. I've been saying it for months and months and months when we first got Ange that it's going to fuck up. The first season, 10 games, whoop, whoop. So what? That was the new manager bounce then. I've said since we signed Ange, this is a mistake and it's going to cost us. Second season, and he keeps saying how about he always wins things in his second season. The only thing you're winning, mate, is relegation. At this rate, at this pace, we're going down. I have had enough of watching Tottenham play. I've had enough of the Ange Inners and Levy Inners screaming at their lungs, saying, "Oh, give the guy some time. He's cooking." Yeah, he's cooking, all right. He's burning toast at this rate. I'm sick to death of it. Like I said, I'm on my way to football training. I thought I'd pop on, say hi. Told you so. I told everybody yesterday we'd lose.
Does it feel that good to be right? Do you have to come and tell everybody that you told us so?
It's a weight off my shoulders, but to have some weirdo get my number and send me a death threat, it's just another thing to me. It's like that is out of the blue, and that's not so much as worried me. It's rocked me out of the blue how this person's got my number.
Yeah, that's weird. That's super weird and not cool. I'm sorry that's happening to you, man.
I've blocked the number, but I've passed it on to the police.
Good deal.
So I'm not going to react that way and message back. I've learnt my lessons growing up, man. I'm almost 40. I don't do playground crap anymore. At the end of the day, I said we will lose, Tottenham will lose, and we'll all be sitting here after the match on Sunday, calling each other out, calling this person that person this, to find out that banner that the fans took to the stadium that Levy was trying to take off of them after the match makes me laugh. There's just so much wrong with this club. It's rotten top to bottom, and even with some of the fan base, it's just a joke. It's not the Tottenham I grew up supporting and loving. It's not the same fan base as I remember from 25, 26 years ago before Levy and that came in. At least back then when we had a problem with sugar sold, and the fans back then even had the problem with sugar, and we took to the streets then. Why aren't we getting together and trying to get this ownership to own up to their wrongdoings? I don't get it. I can't understand the people that want Levy in, want Ange in, and all this right now. It's I'm done with it.
I haven't really ever run across any Levy in people. I've ran across people that are kind of ambivalent and don't really care either way because what can they do? But I haven't really ever ran across an actual Levy in, or I don't think. But just to, and then
I've met a few, and I've said my piece to them today as well, but not like being aggressive or angry with them. I was like, I told you so, and you're a Levy in. And they just both went, yeah, we are. I was like, okay then. Just
fair
left it there.
Yeah. So to answer this question, I know you don't have much time. So to answer the question on screen now, should Spurs prioritize long-term stability over short-term results? Your answer is going to be no to that, right? You want Ange out today, new manager in tomorrow.
If this guy isn't sacked within the next 8 to 12 hours, he's P45 waiting for him on that desk by tomorrow morning, then this club, to me right now, is pretty much in the dirt. We're a laughing stock of the league. We should be beating teams like this. I know it shouldn't be a given, but when they haven't won in 7, we haven't won in 11 until today, 12. We scored first. We looked good. I was quite excited. Admittedly, I napped out before the start of the kick of the second half because I've had such a long day. But Jesus, man, I'm done with this club. It's making me sick.
Well, hopefully things get better for you, man. I hate that you're sick. I hate that you're, to me, it's just something we've just got to get through this period one way or the other. It's very, very possible that Ange gets sacked. It's very possible that he doesn't. For some reason, I'm getting the vibe that he's not going to get sacked, especially with the fact that, he's kept us in all 3 cup competitions. I think that's, I don't know. I see.
Competitions over league stability. I'd rather take the league stability and making sure we're still in the Premier League next season over winning. Sorry, the League Cup to me isn't really a trophy. FA Cup has history. Europa Cup, yes, it would be nice to win it, but under current form, the way we're planning, we'd be lucky to get anywhere.
See, I'm kind of on the opposite spectrum here. I really want us to win a trophy. I think it would be good. I think it would help instill a winning mentality in the players. But yeah, I mean, Jose, do you think so? Would a cup win justify keeping him in his job despite league struggles? And I don't think we're going down either. That can be a second part of that question for you. But
I thought that up until today, right? I thought when I saw people in the last week or so saying we're in a relegation battle, I thought to myself, that's wide off the mark. I think there's 3 teams that are really catastrophically really poor. But looking at the league table now, if we look from Tottenham downwards, because we can't look upwards, Tottenham has got 1 point in the last 6 games. Everton, who sit 1 point behind us, have scored 7 points in the last 6 games.
And Everton have a game in hand as well. Let's not forget that one.
Leicester City, who sit 7 points behind us, but they've now, with the victory today, that's 3 points in their last 6 games. But Wolverhampton Wanderers have got 4 points in the last 6 games. Ipswich Town have 4 points in the last 6 games. Southampton have lost all of the last 6 and have 0. So right now, we scored 1 point. So for me, where up until yesterday, I was saying there's 3 teams that are a lot worse than us. I'm now looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, if it carries on the way it is, we are in a relegation dogfight. Have to be, because we're down there. We are 15th. You only score the points you deserve in the league. The league never lies for any team. Any team, wherever you are, between 1 and 20, you are there because that's where you deserve to be. And, you know, as much as I hate to say it, after losing today, I think to myself, we are looking over our shoulders at a relegation fight.
But when people are saying there are 3 worst teams, you're not in the Premier League just because of merit, because you come up. You're there because you've earned your place. Everybody in the Premier League, take away your freaks like Man City and Liverpool that can win from nowhere and still play shit. You're looking at other teams that can take a result on any given day. The league now is probably the most competitive it has been in 10 years, with teams with FFP in place and PRS and everything like that. Basically, teams have to be a bit more cautious of what they spend now, because they could be potentially given points docked or fined or whatever nowadays. This has to end with Tottenham. We're supposed to be the PSR kings. We're supposed to be this, that, and the other. We don't spend money. Well, I wonder why. When you're losing the way we are and you're announcing 50 Cent coming to your stadium, the boxing coming to your stadium, you know, it'll be another 5 losses and we're going to ended up like advertising Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson round 2 at our stadium next. You watch.
I understand the frustrations completely. I'm just as frustrated. But to me, I'm just kind of looking like for an answer, you know, like what comes next? What's the next move? Big up Dermot, by the way. Dermot's in the chat. Big up Dermot. Yes.
Big up.
We've got some people I haven't seen. Clemens is here. What's up, Clemens? But hey, I just want to say, Clemens, be nice, buddy. That you being kind of mean in there. But Dan, what's up?
If it's directed at me, I didn't see, and I'm not too fussed anymore.
No,
for the first time in all my Tottenham supporting career,
homophobic slurs.
There's no reason for that, man. No reason for that.
Yeah. Agreed. But yeah, Dan, how's it going, buddy?
Mate. Yeah, I'm actually like nearly lost for words after that today. I'm not gonna lie, because I come on yesterday and I said to you, Colin, yesterday this game was like pivotal. Like if we lose this game, we then potentially do really get sucked into a relegation battle. And what Jose just said there about waking up like until today thinking about maybe we're not in a relegation battle. I've just looked at our fixtures. Obviously we'll take Elfsborg out of the way, yeah, and I'll list our next 6-7 Premier League games. Away at Brentford, home to Man United, away at Ipswich, at home to Man City, at home to Bournemouth, away to Fulham, away to Chelsea, at home to Southampton, away to Wolves. That's our next 10 games. So I look at that and I'm like, mate, we really could be in a relegation battle here, yeah? Because I'm looking at the next 3 or 4 Premier League games and I'm like, away at Brentford, I'm not confident about that right now. Like, Man United maybe, but you never know with Man United. And we did beat Ipswich at home. So, like, Ipswich, if we lose that Ipswich game in a few weeks' time, which is on the 22nd of February, we really, 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 really could be banging trouble. And then we've got City 4 days after as well. and then we've got Bournemouth, which will be on the 9th of March. And the way Bournemouth are playing right now, that's not looking at. I really am
You
starting to get really
watch.
panicked.
We always,
Right,
Dan. We always turn up to play City. We always turn up to play City somehow. You watch. We get a result versus City, and that'll be the only result.
But I can't see right now where any results coming from right now, like how in the position we're in right now. I know this shows you how poor Hoffenheim were the other day, because we just picked up a 3-2 result against Hoffenheim, and like that shows you how poor they were, because we just went right back to the basics again, straight on the weekend. That starting that second half, that 5-6 minutes, that is a disgrace. I'm not gonna lie, that is not just on Ange, that is on the players as well, yeah.
And you're talking today, not the Hoffenheim match. You're talking today.
Yeah, no,
anyway,
today,
gentlemen,
today, talking about that little bit.
I've got a bus to get. I've got football training.
That little bit.
Thanks for coming.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, big up. It's yeah. I mean, today that little 5 or 6 minute spell after the second half, where the second half started. How quick they got the first goal, and how many times they were just getting through us. Yeah,
their second goal pissed me off even worse. There was so much space. We left that guy just acres of space.
What was Ben Davis doing for that second goal? Like, you see the goalkeeper going mad at him, like, go to him. What are you doing? Why are you letting them have a shot there? Yeah, but they were panicking. You can tell the players. But that is the Leicester team, who have not won in 7 league games as well. We made them look really good in that second half as well. I'm really starting to panic, because it's like if you look at our last games now, our last Premier League win was against Southampton. Southampton are literally getting bashed up by everyone these days. So it's like, we beat City 4-0, which was a long time. We literally have not won a home league game now in what would be 3 months by the time we play a home league game. I don't remember that as a Spurs fan. Ever remember Spurs going longer than like a month, maybe and a half, without winning a Premier League home game, even when we were crap. Like, it's getting to a point now where we're not winning home, or, well, we're starting to see our away record's always been rubbish, but our home record's always been saying we've always been able to like look on like, yeah, we've always been decent at home. We're literally are losing every week at home now. We've lost against Ipswich at home. We've lost against Leicester at home. They're 2 relegation teams in the relegation battle, that we've lost against at home this season, yeah? We haven't played Southampton yet at home. Imagine if we lose against Southampton. We would have lost against the 3 promoted clubs who've come up this season, yeah, at our own backyard. That's unacceptable, full stop. I don't remember many clubs doing that. It's getting to a point now where I don't want to come across as negative here, but this is something I'm not experienced as a Spurs fan in a long time, yeah? It's getting to a point where we're looking down at the Premier League table now, and you're like, right, we're what, a point above Everton? Are we a point above Everton now? 16th?
Yeah, I think that puts us exactly at 1 point above Everton. Yeah.
And a couple of weeks ago, everyone said Everton. A couple of weeks ago, everyone said Everton were in a crisis. Yeah. So how comes Everton are in a crisis? And we are in a crisis. It's getting to a point now where you look at all them clubs down there. The only 2 teams that have not sat their manager are us and Ipswich. Ipswich have kept their manager. We've kept our manager. Wolves have sat their manager. Leicester have sat their manager. Southampton have sat their manager. It's going in the process. If you look at all the teams around the bottom 5 or 6, we're the only team with Ipswich who have not sacked our manager yet. So we're giving him a lot of patience. I feel like it's getting to a point now where we're giving him too much patience now to Ange now. It's getting to a point now where, see what Paul said, we're backing him through this process. I feel like we're backing him. I'm not on the transfer side of it, but on the results side of it, yeah, to a point where it's getting sketchy now. I don't ever remember Spurs manager getting this much time on the results side of it, because this is getting troubling. To a point now
so
where
does that mean?
We are now,
but can Ryan Mason come in and steady the ship and get us better results? I mean,
well, right now we're getting to a situation right now here where I'm looking at the short-term side of this year, because we literally could be in a relegation battle. We need a short-term bounce. We even need a short-term bounce right now. Yeah, we cannot get relegated as a football club. Full stop. With a stadium that big, with the down payments on that stadium as well, that was not planned for a championship football. I know that for a fact. The one thing that stadium was not planned for was championship football.
Yeah.
So it's mad shit. People have to really look at the realistic side of it as well, yeah? If we go down, yeah, I know that squad quite average as it is. A lot of the good players in that squad will be gone full stop. Van der Ven will be gone, Romero will be gone, Adoja will be gone, Porro will be gone. All them players will go if we go down to the championship. I don't think people actually realise how many players will just be gone full stop as well. We will have to build up back up. Yeah? Even if we get back into the Premier League within the first season, yeah, we will come back up with a championship squad back in the Premier League. Yeah, I don't think people realise that when you go down and you lose a lot of your players, yeah, you build back up. Yeah, you come back up. You then have to stay back up for the first 2 years. You come back up. It's like you're a whole new team when you come back up the second time round. It's like we will lose a lot of our top players if we go down as well. But also the financial side of it as well cannot happen to this football club. Yeah, because it did not plan for Championship football. And that's one thing. When they were building that stadium, they did not plan for. It's getting to a point now where even you need short-term results, Colin. Yeah. So if Mason come in, and I think he's useless. I do think he's useless. Can he get 2-3 wins in the bounce on back-to-back in the league? That's enough right now to keep us up. I'll get into a situation I'm just like that. I can't even see Ange right now getting me 1 win, and I'm like, if we can just get a short-term bounce, just to stay away from this relegation side, because if this keeps going into like February or March, we could literally be in a really weird situation, and we literally just rely on these players coming back from injuries. Is that what we're hoping on though? Because to me, that's not enough to rely on anymore, man. To rely on with the players come back yet, because these players have lost now for like 2 or 3 months. And some of these players will come back. There's too much of a losing feeling in the club right now, yeah? With the players and the manager. Something has to change. Something has to change in this football club, and it has to change ASAP. And this ain't going to come across like as me hating on Ange, yeah? Because this is my standards of this football club. This is just me. This ain't anyone else. This is just me. If any manager had put us in this situation, any manager, that's Poch, Redknapp, anyone, I would be asking for them to be sacked as well. That's any manager. So this isn't just aimed at Ange. This is aimed at any manager. This could be any manager in football. If they was leading us into this same situation, I would be asking for them to be sacked from this football club as well. My main aim here is for the success of this football club. And when it starts getting to a situation where we could be in a relegation battle in February, yeah, that's where I draw a line. That's where I draw a line, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm just going to leave it at that.
No, you're good. I appreciate everything that you said, and I don't think that you're wrong. I just don't know. I don't know. I think we've waited so long in the season that I'm not really sure what the answer is. And Jose, I
understand that, dude. I'm not going to go mad at people. I'm not going to go mad at people still want, obviously, who are worried about the rinse and repeat. I do understand that, because this club has sacked too many managers in the last 20, 25 years, yeah, for people not to think the next manager's going to come in and it's just going to be the same old again. It's getting to a situation
need to keep players out. Won't have the players he needs. Won't have players.
It's getting to a situation right now where we just need a manager right now, yeah, just to come in and get us the short-term results, just to get us away from this little mess we're in right now, yeah. That's where I'm at right now. So I'm not even looking down 18 months down the line. I'm just looking for a short-term bounce, just to get us out of this trouble, yeah. That might be selfish of me thinking right now. I'm just worried about the rest of the season, but I'm worried about the rest of the season right now. Yeah, I'm not worried about 12 months.
That's pragmatic. That makes sense, dude.
I'm not worried about 12 months time right now. I'm just worried about this season. Yeah, this season we are literally heading towards a relegation battle, and that is in my eye beyond unacceptable. Yeah, in 2025 from this football club.
Yeah,
but this is a football club who was supposed to be going forward as a football club. Yeah, they've gone completely back to the 90s, yeah, and going backwards as a football club, backwards at an alarming rate as well. That's what's worrying. It's at an alarming rate. We've gone from 5th last season to this. That's what I mean. How quick can you go from an alarming rate from this? That's what I mean. This is the complete opposite to last season as well. I mean, last season the form was dropping off towards the end of last season, but that's what I mean, man. Something has to change at this football club ASAP. It has to happen ASAP. It has to happen within the next fight. So, I mean, obviously, my main aim will be for the manager to go now, because the only way it can be is to get a short-term bounce. The short-term bounce might be enough to keep us something. But I've looked at the fixtures. This is why I'm starting to get really worried. I've looked at the fixtures and I'm like, can you see more than 5 or 6 points in the next 6 or 7 games? And then all it takes is one of them teams. All it takes is one of them teams out there, yeah, to go on a run, to go on a 2 or 3 game run, yeah, and Ipswich or Leicester, yeah, and we're bang in trouble. And I can't believe I'm even saying this as a Spurs fan in 2025. Yeah? If Leicester or Ipswich go on a run, we're bang in trouble. What the hell is this, man? This is madness that even a Spurs fan is saying this in 2025. That we're having to worry about Leicester and Ipswich results now, yeah, to define our season. That is problematic, man. That's what I mean. This is getting to a point where even like something. I said I was lost for words, but I've come on here just gone on a mad little run. So even I said I was lost for words, like, it's something the Spurs passion, it just brings it out on you, man. I'm literally, I'm lost for words. Like my soul's broken right now, man. To the point where like I can't believe what I'm watching. But I can't even dig out a result against Leicester. Can't even dig out a result against Leicester though. I know we've got a lot of injuries, but they can't even dig out a result against Leicester at home. Yeah, then we really are shy. I don't want to come across as like proper like, oh, we'll say the crap team's pants, but bloody hell, man, we literally can't even get a result against Leicester at home. The team who have been like, we haven't won in like, I think Van Nistelrooy's first, I think Van Nistelrooy might have won in one of his first 2 games there, but he's lost like 7 back-to-back, I think. 6 or 7 on the trot since they played us. they've not exactly been in great form list. Any sort of form list to say, right, they're going to come here and pick up any sort of result here. Even with our injuries, I thought, we'll still be good. I went 3-0. What a muppet I was, man. 3-0. Where did that come from?
It could have been 3-0. That's the frustrating thing is it could have been 3-0. You know,
but where did you get that confidence from in the first place? Like, yeah, we're gonna just rock up to our yard, smash them up 3-0, and make it an easy. Spurs never do that, even in our good times, man. Usually, so like that's just a proper L from me. It goes to my predictions. I had a shock on my predictions this week. It all goes to how Tottenham's last few weeks have been. Tottenham's been having a shocker in the Premier League table, and now I'm having a shocker in the predictions table. So it's sort of all like bounce back to each other.
It's all stacking up on you, huh?
Colin, some people have cried off though because I had a look at the predict the Prem, right? Because I've had a good week so far in the predictions. So I looked at the predict the Prem and I thought, God, I've gained a lot of points here in predict the Prem. And then I had a look and I thought to myself, I've gained the place. I looked at the league table and we've gone from 41 to 40. Guess who's dropped out?
Me?
No,
oh.
Dan has dropped out in the Prem.
Snap, Dan. Come on,
I know
man.
why I dropped out. Like, I've missed too many games in the Prem, man. I told you that's when you turned around the other day, you said, "Oh, is he getting sulky about the prediction?" I wasn't leaving that one. I'm leaving to predict the Prem. I missed too many games. I keep forgetting about it. I think I missed 2 before that, and then I missed a whole weekend. So I was like, I ain't catching back up now.
I've missed 2 weeks worth of it at least.
Yeah,
I've still kept
missing too many, man.
Hey, I want to shout out some people in the chat. We got another failed upload. That's a name I don't see.
Corey. That's Corey.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
Corey.
What's up? Sorry about that. I was like, who is this? But hey, Corey, good to have you, man. Hope you're safe on the train and you made it and everything. Or the bus or whatever you were taking. Pranvat's in the house. A United supporter. Robbo, you've got friends. Robbo's here, everybody. Robbo.
Hey, guys.
Hey. So I've got about 15 more minutes to go, but I wanted to cover some stuff that just seemed important to me. And first I'll ask Jose, because I've been dying to ask you. If Ange leaves this season, it's just going to be Ryan Mason, caretaker manager, right? Isn't that the way you see it?
But the problem I've got with that, right, is anyone that knows Ange is not the coach, Ange is the manager, and he's got a coaching team that coaches players. Well, if they get rid of Ange and Mason comes in, what changes? Because Mason to start off with is not the number 2 to Ange, right? There's another guy who's the number 2 to Ange. But if Mason then comes in, then what's going to change? Because he's been part of the coaching team. So how are you going to get the new bounce if you're the same person that's been coaching the players? Not managing them, but coaching them. How do you get a new manager bounce from that? I don't see it, honestly. I really don't.
I agree.
I'm going to say with what Dan said, right? Dan, if I go from Southampton to Man United, Southampton sacked their manager, Ipswich haven't, Wolves have, Leicester have, Everton have, Tottenham haven't, West Ham have, and so have Man United. So we're in and amongst, I don't know, 7 or 8 teams there, and in amongst that, 2 teams haven't swapped their managers out, all the others have. Just to go on what Dan was saying earlier.
Yeah. It's not. I was sorry. I would say that's not really a good look on us because I think we're giving him too much time, and it's gone from a lot of at least with Man United, they saw a problem and they tried to get brought in Almira. It might have been not the greatest situation right now, but at least they're not going to get relegated. Man United, we're literally just spiraling into a relegation battle, and we're not doing anything quite. At least these other clubs have tried to do something when it was getting sketchy. It's like I don't know what we're doing. Are we just waiting for a situation where we fall into the relegation, literally into relegation places before we act? I don't really understand what we're doing as a club right now. What we backing him to get results in the league until the players come back and he goes on a 3 or 4 game winning run. Is that what we're hoping? Because I look at the fixtures and I'm like, I can't even guarantee that with the good players back. And I'm like, I've lost all faith in Ange now personally, man. I don't even have faith that he's going to get me results right now in this league. Has anyone seen like any proof that this guy's got the? I mean, this guy's in the Premier League, in like a new league for the first time in his career. He's now in a situation where it's getting very sketchy. Like, is this guy really up for the fight for a relegation battle? Has he ever been in this sort of situation before in his career? This high level in his career? So I mean, this is where I start getting really worried as well. That's what I'm saying. So like, do we then bring a manager who's like a bit more experienced than like top level football? who then comes in and tries to get us out of this mess in the situation we're in right now. That's what. Do we get any sort of like bounce with these results with the players we got? It don't look likely. I do admit that. And there's always a possibility of a new manager.
To me, the players seem like they're dropping the ball right now just as much as the manager. I would say it's just as much on the players as the manager.
It could be both. It could be both. It could be like the players definitely are dropping the ball. I will agree with that. It could be the players are dropping the ball because they're gassed, or it could be the players are dropping the ball because they don't want to play the style football anymore. So it's either one or two, yeah. So it's like it's the first one that there's hope that he can turn it around. If it's the second one, then there's no hope he can turn it around because basically the players don't want to play for him anymore. So that's what I'm saying. So that's something I don't really know. That's what's making me question. I don't really because 1 week the players will try and get back into a game when they're 2-3-0 down and try and play to save Ange. Like they're playing for Ange, and they'll come out in the second half and throw a game away like that in the first 5 or 6 minutes in the second half to a poor Leicester team. So I don't really understand it. Are they playing for him 1 week? Are they not playing for him the next week? So I mean,
could it not just be that they're absolutely gassed? Like, does that not track? Like, to me, if they've got nothing in the tank and nothing to give, it sort of makes sense why it would look like they don't care out on the pitch. I mean, I'm not saying that is the answer, but I'm saying
if you're naturally gassed as a football player, then your mind's going to make more errors as well. Naturally, make more errors as a football player as well. Yeah, so you're going to know. So that's saying that naturally might happen. So like, but then you got to look at this situation. Has he overplayed players too much? Because then that's when he's overplayed these players too much through the situation, and he has to take a bit.
Why isn't Reguilon playing frequently? Why isn't Reguilon? Why do we have a perfectly good left back sitting out all matches? By the way, Robbo,
there's another thing today. There's another thing. Yeah, big up, Robbo. Big up. I'll let you speak now. That's what I ain't spoke. Yes, sorry, mate.
Oh, but Robbo, hey man, how are you? I know that as a United fan, you're kind of in the same boat as us Spurs fans, except you're just further your manager. You've got the new manager in.
Yeah.
But still, some results aren't coming thick and fast. It's not like that was an instant change that was going to change your season. It's nice to have you here because we can kind of talk about that a bit. Like I said, I've only got a little bit longer, maybe 10 more minutes. But yeah, Robert, what's your view on? I know it's weird to ask people to talk about teams that aren't theirs and ones they don't follow, but I mean, can you see some similarities between where Spurs are and where United were whenever?
100%. I can see similarities. What frustrated me with Tottenham was the fact that they go in 1-0 at half time, perfect, and then within 5 minutes they're 2-1 down, and you can't unless the manager has just said to him at half time, "Oh, just relax, we'll be all right." Do you know what I mean? Something's not right with those players to capitulate like against a poor Leicester team that have lost 7 in a row, was it? To lose 2 goals like that in 4 or 5 minutes, that's the players. And again, that's similar to Man United. When we were playing okay, but we were missing chance after chance after chance, and Erik ten Hag was getting the blame for losing games. I remember there's a game there, Dalot missed an open goal. That's not the manager's fault. Dalot can't score an open goal. And ultimately, yes, the manager will always get the blame, but those players, those first 5 minutes have cost you the game. And Ange what's he meant to, he can't go out there and do the game for them. So there's a lot of similarities in regard to that. And then from what I saw, that they just couldn't get their way back into it. I think they were shell shocked in what happened in that first 5 minutes. And when you're low on confidence and you lose those types of goals in that short space of time, it's very difficult when you're low on confidence to get any way back into the game. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have covered this already, but do you think if Tottenham weren't in the semi-final of the League Cup, do you reckon he'd have been gone by now? Do you reckon is that what they're waiting for?
I think so, personally. I think that there was so much shit given to Levy over sacking Mourinho before the cup final. Yeah. I think he's going to let him crash out of these cups or win. But that was one of the would a cup win justify him keeping the job despite the league struggles? And I'm not sure. I definitely do think that's what's kept him in for as long as he's been.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'll throw it to Jose because we haven't heard a whole lot from Jose. Do you think that if he does win, what cup do you think he would need to win to keep his job? And why is it the Europa League? I mean,
none.
You don't think
he doesn't have to win a trophy at the moment because I think he's got the biggest supporter he's got at the club is Scott Munn. While Scott Munn's there, then he will defend Ange Postecoglou because Scott Munn was the one that brought Ange in. Now, I think there is an understanding at the club that so it's weird because there's understanding at the club, right, that we've got this big time injury list, and we've had it all throughout the season. Facts, right? But with that, you say, okay, so they've got an understanding of that. If you have an understanding of that, then where are the reinforcements? And that's why I'm thinking to myself, what is going out there? What's going on there? Because if you have an understanding of the injuries and stuff like that, you know, then where's your understanding about bringing the players that we need in? You know,
absolutely.
Like I said, I mean, the proof's been that we know what how Tottenham Hotspurs operate. Now, I said this before. I don't know, you weren't on the show with me earlier, but I said on the show earlier and yesterday that football teams in Europe will show their hands after next week. Because after next week, it's the first time we've had the European club competitions that you have eight group games before you have the last round of 16. So therefore, normally European games, you knew where you were by the second week in December. And then the winter transfer window opens. So if some of the clubs haven't qualified for the next rounds and that, they can start, you know, selling players to other clubs. But because this goes on till next week, after the Champions League on Wednesday and after the Europa League on Thursday, the teams that haven't qualified, and there are some decent teams that wouldn't have qualified in the Champions League, in my eyes, by next week, then they might want to they might be willing to let go of some of their players. So I expect a lot of movement to happen in the last few days of the window. But this is Tottenham Hotspur. I don't know whether we're going to react. I don't know whether we're going to bring players in or not. You know, we've been in a position where we've known since the transfer window closed in September. This is the hand that you've dealt with. These are the players that you've got running you through to the winter transfer window. Tottenham have had loads and loads of injuries, and then you've got someone like Man City who are out of form. Man City have gone and accelerated their spending. Instead of buying them in the summer, they've now bought them now. And Man City have already spent more money in this transfer window on 3 players than the whole of the Premiership spent in last season's winter transfer window. And that's because they haven't sat on the laurels. They haven't sat on the laurels. They've moved and done things. We need to do something as well. It's quite weird. For me, it's two different. You're getting 2 different stories out of the club. The club say, yeah, they're understanding, and you know they understand about all the injuries and all that, and are prepared to back the manager. But then on the other token, they're not bringing anybody in. So to me, it's an absolute shit show. And I don't care how hard it is to bring players in, right?
Yeah, just fucking do it.
If you throw enough money at it, you can buy a player.
Yeah.
So even if you pay £5 million more, you can buy a player. You know, at the end of the day, we're cursed. Simple.
I think that Levy's waiting for the injured players to come back, and I think that that's going to be his way of saying job done. You know, we've got our reinforcements. All these players are returning from injury.
John Fitz, he was at the game today. Look,
Fitzy says, I was at the game today and I have to say these players have no fight in them. I'm worried we may go down if we stick with this useless manager. Why aren't the players fighting? I mean, I don't know. I just think that's incredibly unprofessional. I get it though. But if I was being paid the way these guys are being played, I would do whoever asked me to do whatever. I mean, the fact that you get players that just lie down and die and decide to, you know, stop playing for the manager, I think is kind of
It's the worst. It's the worst insult you can throw at a professional footballer that they've got no fight and they're not trying. It's the worst insult you can throw at them. And you know, you guys watch Tottenham a lot more than I do, and if that's what you're seeing, they should be ashamed of themselves because, like I said, the money they get paid, you know, what they do for a living. We would all love to be out there playing football, you know, 2-3 times a week, you know, in front of all these crowds. We would fight for every tackle, everything. And if you're not doing that, that's the worst thing you can throw at a footballer. So, but yeah, it's not good enough.
Absolutely. Fitzy says players aren't good enough for the manager is crap. Where do we go from here? And that's my question. I think if we sack the manager right now, it puts us in a worse spot. I think that we actually are doing ourselves a disservice at this time in the season sacking the manager. I think if we were going to sack him, the time for that has come and gone because I don't think we can get anybody of any. I mean, there are managers out there. Wasn't there some guy, he might have been German or he was at least.
Yeah, does Terzic not get up a short-term bounce? Because I think he might be able to.
Yeah, perhaps. And
he gets
that's an
a
option.
short-term bounce, like because like he's someone who's available right now. Obviously, people will want to go straight to like Southgate. Like obviously, Daniel Levy probably will go and get someone like Southgate, but someone like Terzic is out there. There is managers out there. If you can try and go and get them. Like the one situation we've left ourselves in now in this transfer window is because where we haven't sacked this manager was 7 days. We literally got 7 days left after tomorrow. The transfer window shuts on the 2nd or 3rd of February. We've now left ourselves in a situation where if we do sack a manager, we're going to bring the interim one probably now for the rest of the window. So players are going to be a bit wary about like, even coming to the club because we might have a new manager in a few weeks after the window shuts, because we might get attacked. Yeah. So we're in a situation now where we've left it too really late to sack a manager now before the window shuts, yeah? Because if we bring a manager in, we're not going to be able to get involved in any players between now and when the window shuts. So like we should have really done this about 2 or 3 weeks earlier. We should have done this at the beginning of the window or like the first couple of weeks into the window. Now we've left ourselves in a situation where we literally don't know what to do now as a football club. Do we back him now through this and hope that the players come back and then it changes? Or do we sack him now for like 5 days to go, 6 days to go in the window, and then we've got no time to bring a new manager in, and no time to get any sort of players for potentially a new system? So now we are now in a weird situation. We have to pick up results ASAP, and like so I'm saying, this today was a massive game. They could have sort of relieved any sort of pressure about this relegation talk, yeah? Because this was like potentially like a 6-pointer. Now it feels like a 6-pointer now after losing it. Feels like a real 6-pointer now because we are literally been sort of suffocated now into a situation where I've looked at the games and I'm like, I just worry about our next 10 games. I'm like, there's a few games in there we can pick up results in, but there's a lot of games in there we could easily lose. Even with
and it seems like the ones that we're supposed to win easily, we don't, and the ones that we're supposed to lose, we grind out somehow. So that's another thing. It seems like these players want to play in the big matches, but they don't want to turn up against the smaller teams that fight harder and are more compact and more, you know what I mean, defensively sound. It's just like the players don't want to fight, man.
Yeah, that first 6 or 7 minutes of that second half is just full stop, unacceptable from the players and the manager. I'm not going to explain the manager now. I'm going to blame the players as well, because the manager, obviously, what you saying your team talk at half time here plays a part in what happens in the second half. It's supposed to come out and it's supposed to react to your instructions you give them in the team talk at half time. Yeah, so obviously it must have been a bit of a sluggish team talk. I'm not going to blame it completely on that. But what the players done that first 6 minutes of that second half, yeah, how easy they were to get through. Yeah, I don't know. Leicester Pound saying whatever Van Nistelrooy said at half time worked. And whatever, he must have saw a little weakness in our first half performance because he could saw it straight in the second half to take advantage of it. We didn't spot it quick enough as well as a club. And just like, that's what I mean. Ange looked shell-shocked in that first 6 minutes while that was happening. He was like, he couldn't believe it as well. That's what I mean. And I'm like, I look at the subs. As soon as he went and took Richie off, and then people say to me, "Oh, Richie couldn't play. He's too unfit. So that's why I took him off." So basically, he decided to play 50 minutes. So you could have just brought him off at half time then. So he basically said, "Oh, you come out for a half time and I'll play you for 5 more minutes." Is that what the plan was all along? I don't believe that. He just brought him off as a reaction sub, yeah, to the situation, yeah. And then he went and put Son up front, Mikey Moore on the left. The problem was the Son up front, yeah, is then you lose completely any outlet up front. Like the only thing you got then is the counter attacking. When we didn't play possession-based football all the time, yeah, Stumvidi up top is not the best sort of player to play up top when you play possession-based football, because it ain't going to make it stick. So and he brought Lancashire on with 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go. He decided then to bring another centre forward on him.
Sorry, Dan, sorry. All Ruud van Nistelrooy had to say at half time, right? And who we got on the weekend? We're away to Brentford. All Thomas Frank has got to say at the weekend, next weekend. And this is these two players play again. Just attack Porro and both goals are Porro's mistakes. Just attack Porro and Kulusevski. The two players are so spent that we have no right-hand side. So any manager won't be short. All they've got to say is keep attacking down the right, lads. Keep going down their right, lads. Keep going down their right, lads. That's all they've got to say. And you will get at Tottenham Hotspur. The two players are running on fumes. If you don't give them a rest, then that's the weak link in the team. Not that they're shit and they're bad players, just that they've got nothing more to give. They can't keep up with the tempo. And when you're tired, you become mentally tired. Physically tired, you become mentally tired. And when you become mentally tired, you will make mistakes. Porro made both the mistakes for their goals today. That's all you got to do.
Very hard to argue against that. And guys, I hate to end prematurely. I feel like we were having a good talk. Things were going good, but unfortunately, work beckons. But guys, I just want to say thanks to everyone for joining in. It's kind of been a therapy session, and I appreciate that. And guys, if you want to find my lovely guests, Jose can be found here. Eltel Cockrell, that is his channel. Please go and support him if you haven't already. And then our boy Robbo, our favorite Manchester United supporter, can be found mostly here. He's got a YouTube as well under the same name, but there is his TikTok right there. Robbo Reacts. Good stuff, guys. Make sure you.
It's up to United later on to get a result. Try and give you something to cheer about on the weekend. But yeah, there we go.
There you go. United could be my second team because of you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You got it, boss. And then Dan, when are you gonna get a channel, man? When are you gonna start doing stuff?
Oh, mate, I'm not about that life, mate. I'll just go on other people's channels, have my little Tottenham rants every now and then, and hope that the situation turns around one day. I just hope that one day I'm still around the YouTube channels when we do have our success, so we can all party together like this.
You got to come here and party, exactly.
And then we can all look back on these days a few years ago and say that they were the hard times, but then we have to go through that to get the good times. And then hopefully,
Exactly.
but man, right now, man, I'm not gonna lie, man, it's depressing watching the club.
It's very depressing, man.
Any sort of wins coming from them, and then losing at home to Leicester today. That sort of just dents your confidence even more because they're awful. And if we can't even beat Leicester at home, I'm like, rah, man. Oh.
Can I just say that Alistair Gold has reported that the Levy chant outs in the stadium were the loudest he's heard ever.
Nice.
Right.
There you go.
If that is true, I'm not going to doubt what Alistair Gold says. If all this that people are saying is true, then that's exactly, you just hit it, Dan. Ange is in trouble.
Oh yeah, because Levy will fire a manager before he does anything and looks in the mirror about himself. So yeah, absolutely. So yeah, good. Thanks for letting us know about that too. And guys, stick around, or not stick around, but hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever we're on next. Plan to be doing shows pretty much every day if I can manage it. And yeah, hopefully we'll have some transfers or something fun to talk about soon. But with that, guys, I do got to bounce. So again, thank you, fellas, everybody for tuning in. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. All right.
Thank you.
See you, boys.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Bye. Let me get the music playing here. I'm not very professional at this yet. I'm getting better. Boom.
Mama, don't cry. Yeah. Mama, don't cry.